What's going on, everyone? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world right now. I'm so glad to be here with you. This is Jordan with Conquer Trading and Investing. You know what? I just wanted to go live today, catch up with all of you, and take a look at the markets. Really happy to be on the public live stream here with y'all. After about a week of uploads, I was missing y'all. So here we go. Wanted to take a look at markets. We're going to take a look at the question comes up from the title, right? Why are we expecting a squeeze? We'll talk about that throughout this session. We'll start off with Bitcoin positioning, though, and then we'll get into equity markets. Buying, tsunami, in which market? Equity markets. Now, if you are into the Bitcoin, if you're into the crypto markets, and I'm sure that you've been following that tight correlation between equity markets, public markets, and the cryptocurrency markets. If you're not, you could spend some time today taking a look at that. But there is a rather strong correlation, as Bitcoin, like it or not, is a risk on asset and happens to perform during risk on periods. We'll take a look at everything that's going on. Let's not get caught up in the title as much as in the content. And let's get going. And we're watching right now. We continue to watch this battle between the bulls and the bears that continues to be underway. Excuse me, here on Bitcoin. By the way, on the bear side over here on the right, let's just extend that trend line out a little bit, and because you could see that trend line that broke down. We came in for that retest. I'm following over here on the right. We came in for the retest and then came back down. And then weren't able to hold down over there. It was a big wick up, and then we broke back above that broken resistance. That broken support. And then we wanted to see if it became resistance, and it didn't. Again, if you go ahead and clone this line off over here, let me clone that line. All right, drop back down, and you could see the symmetry of the structure in this area from here. Right, we're gonna get this right over here. The truth is, this morning I didn't even want to. I just wanted to go ahead and work on some CTM stuff and get ready for our live session, and wasn't going to even wanted to do the upload for over here on the public side. Then I was like, you know what? Some people yesterday in the comments, they said that they spend their lunch breaks watching the session, that there are people out there who are putting the work in every day. And if they're going to put the work in every day, then I want to be there for them as well. And that's why I went live here, just to make sure that commitment is shown. And that's why we did that over here today. I just wanted to let you know. So looking over here, I'm watching that area. I'm going to get rid of that because that's a little bit of noise. Price now back above. You can see the test into that move, that test into that resistance here. This time it held. Now back above it. It's a light line. It's not too. It doesn't mean too much. So that battle goes over between the bulls and the bears. On the other side of the spectrum, though, on the bull side, we could see that we do have off the flow. That's all right. I'm sipping on the matcha. We're going to get it back over here today. That's awesome to hear. That's beautiful. I mean, community is priceless. Community is priceless. Also received from someone within CTM the other day this note about what they were going through. So a family member sick, and how the positivity inspired them. And, these things really, they touch my heart and they inspire me further, because we don't know really what type of, let's say, influence we have in someone else's life more often than not. It's really beautiful when you hear those things. We were seeing and obviously watching the breakout that's coming from the November all-time high on Bitcoin. We had then breakout, retest all the way into the line, not taking out the low print, right? Some people took out stops over here, right? Those people are neutral waiting for the next entry. The other people that held their stops on lower. This trade is still alive, but we're going to look at that a little bit differently in one moment, and we're going to talk about potentially where, as we looked at the red line, would be a potential earlier entry on the sell side, where the one is on the buy side as well. But before we do that, let me just follow up with Ethereum. And we see that Ethereum had some buy-side trade trigger off. There haven't been too many in 2022 on the buy side. They've been far and few between. Nevertheless, even those far and few between thus far have about over a 50% return just on the buy side. Sell side has obviously been way more profitable. And regardless of what your expectations are, like just trade what's happening. People ask about my expectations about whether or not Bitcoin will hit like 100,000 by the fall of 2024. I have no idea, to be honest. We did a video not too long ago on the public side over the last week, and I talked about how the next cycle is going to be drastically different. If you didn't watch that video, SAS Crypto, it's within the last 10 days, and you can find it out on the channel. And it talks about why this Bitcoin cycle is going to be different or something like that. Watch that video. It's really, really, really strong analysis, and it will help answer that question. I mean, I have no idea, but it's going to let you know, according to the macro, what your expectations could be for the next cycle and what that's going to look like, right? So here we go, 30K. I don't know. I mean, look, we're not out of the woods yet. We talked about the potential tsunami of buying coming into the market. It's not there yet. We're close to it. We'll talk about that in 1 second. But Ethereum is triggering off a buy signal here right now. It's notable. By the way, that buy signal in a heartbeat could be stopped out. And then we could also see shorts back re-entering the market. And you can see shorts have been way more profitable in 2022 than the buy side. Nevertheless, that's not what's happening right now. We've had a buy trigger. Take the buy trigger. Each and every trade taken, expectations are it's going to get stopped out. It's a mechanical system. It's like you're sitting you're the casino. You're the casino, and you know that you might not win every individual hand, but over the night and over the week and over the month, you're expected to win. And that's how you think about trading. You go a lot further. You can see that this could turn back to the sell side in a heartbeat. Ethereum continues to still be very, very weak, right? Oh, by the way, I continue to wonder what it's going to look like if we do see any type of risk rally to the upside, whether or not this is going to hold and we're going to see Ethereum pumping to the upside. For me, if I'm seeing some type of old-fashioned risk rally, which we're not seeing yet, what we're seeing occur on the equity markets right now is just a squeeze. That squeeze could turn into a bounce, and that bounce could turn into a bear market rally. Those would be the expectations. Or we even think of past the bear market rally? I don't think so at this point, but we're not even into a bear market rally thus yet. If we do have any type of risk rally in the markets, I personally would like to see Ethereum leading Bitcoin. That would say to me that like this is a good old-fashioned risk rally going on when Bitcoin is leading Ethereum. Now, it could be different post-merge, but if Ethereum's leading Bitcoin, it says to me that, you know what, be very, very cautious. This thing could roll over quick. If it does roll over, obviously Ethereum is going to pick up the short right quick and be ready to attack. We'll be there if that's what occurs. The dollar this morning, observations, is just flat, right? Not able to go anywhere. Japanese yen continues to weigh on that a lot. Steven, it doesn't, for some, I mean, I'm not out there. So here's the thing. I like with love, like the analysis that we're doing here, like for sure, it's for my own benefit and for those that want to be here. That's all that matters. And that's everything right there for real. But thank you. So NASDAQ sold a dollar sign, close to a buy signal. Looks like a retest and coming first. We're going to take a look at the equity markets in just 1 second. I want to finish over here with the Bitcoin because yesterday we were looking at this red line over here about when a potential rolling over, a close below that line, that might signal a better entry. Of course, the white line would be the confirmation of a breakdown. Remember, we don't know what's going to happen outside of this consolidation pattern, whether or not we're going to break out to the upside or whether we're going to break out to the downside. And I know I have a green window over here, and I put that green window over here like when we were somewhere over here, and I was like 8,200 first, and then we find out if we break down or break out above 19,500. That's just for fun. It might give you the idea that I'm thinking that we're going to break out to the upside. Well, I would like to see us break out to the upside. I have no idea if we break out to the upside or downside. Be prepared for both. If you enter in like a similar line over here on the upside, I think that we could do that. And I already went ahead and added it in this morning, and you could see that and look where we touched into this morning, right into that line again. Hold on. Let me just get a better look at it. Yeah, well, I could even, right, touch that line over here, which is then going to get very cute, and touch this over here. And that's exactly where we are. And yes, I think that a close above either one of those red lines offers an opportunity for an early entry. If you want to get a little bit of aggressive on both sides, it would be the white side on the bottom for confirmation, and it would be that long sloping trend line log scale I'm using here on the upside over there. And then don't forget, the one that I'm really watching over here is above us. I'm watching this line over here as really the big resistance. And if we are or get the opportunity to break out outside of this consolidation pattern to the upside, that's when I'll be watching in that area as price comes into it, whenever it does, to see whether or not, if indeed it does provide resistance or we get back above. There's still a lot. I'm looking over at this area over here from June, and then you could follow it. This is June 2021. Follow it to the right after the Luna collapse. You see that Luna spiked below it, but then consolidated above that line. 28,000, also really big resistance here on the way up. If we get the opportunity, don't forget, we are looking at right now some historically low volatility. All as that means to us is that a big move is on the way, and whether that big move is to the upside or downside, we really don't know. I know that everyone wants to know, like legit. People will watch this and be like, "Oh, okay, so you're saying if this happens, that happens. If this happens, that happens, but you don't know." Yeah, definitely. And once you get to the position in your career, in your trading, where you're able to adopt the same type of attitude and posture, you're going to go a lot further. It's not about predicting markets and where it's going to go. It's about managing risk in the markets. It's a big difference, and it's one that's very important. I hope that you learn something here with this valuable time that we spent together, and I hope that's among them. I'm glad you got over here, Ricardo, and are here with us as we get going on this live stream. And I always enjoy the atmosphere of here being with y'all. Let's take a look about, by the way, if seasonalities kick in, this is the time of year. And look, is this time different? Oh, in so many ways that I don't even need to spell it out for you, right? I don't even need to spell it out for you. Of course, this time is different. It's one of the Fed's most aggressive hiking cycles that we've seen on record. Interesting how everyone's become an expert on that. Very few saw that coming when the Fed announced it back in October 16th, when we talked about 2022 rate shock. Oh, you can't taper a Ponzi. Nevertheless, raise rates. Here we are. Of course, this time is different, but we'd have some like things to talk about, and some, let's say, people are wondering and have been wondering about, well, where is the buying going to come from? It's a very often asked question. And let me just jump over here and show, by the way, like this was the June low. Price broke below it very like over the last week. And where was the selling? I mean, if you're asking where's the buying, you also have to ask where's the selling. And the thing is, or the way that I viewed it, it seems to me that most professionals, they've been hedged via the option markets, right? So they have that downside protection. They don't want to sell their holdings, because they know that eventually what we're going to see is a further expansion of the balance sheet, and those things are gonna, the expectations are they're gonna jump and run. Now, I've always wondered, and I continue to wonder, and we've been wondering this now for almost 3 years, what would happen, or the greatest risk would be if they let it crash into a deflationary spiral. Now, I don't think they're going to do that, and I do think if there was any type of things broke moment, that they're going to do the only thing that they know how to do to keep the music playing, and that is flood the system with dollars, with liquidity. But the risk is always what happens if they don't. I talk about chickens. You probably should have some chickens. You should probably be growing some leafy greens and be making some type of prep, let's say, backup plans just in case. But let's hope that's not the future that we run into. Is there anything else that we get from this downward sloping? This is beautiful, by the way. It's beautiful in such as that This is when the Fed began raising hikes. Up move, down move, up move, down move. It's pretty nice. Do we have any type of, let's say, I think we're more about horizontal, right? Horizontal resistance over there, and that's a big level. That's a really big level, and we'll just keep it simple. We're just watching this one. What is it too soon to be looking to sell right now? Well, I think it's too soon. We are ripping up, and don't forget this rip up right now is just really lots of shorts covering. The thing about shorts covering, it's called the squeeze. That squeeze could be get buying, right? First of all, you have lots of emotional retail traders who are wrongly positioned. When we talk about wrongly positioned, we did the chart of the day over here this morning. Let me go ahead and just pull that up for you. Right? And we're looking at retail over here, net flows from retail coming out of the market, the lowest since March 2022, which was obviously the low that everyone is familiar with. It seems that retail is positioned, or possibly potentially positioned, on the wrong side over here on the markets right now. That emotionalness we might see coming from retail would be buying, chasing the squeeze that's happening. And then we also are a stone throws away from real legit buying enter the market. When we talk about a tsunami of money, I think somewhere around this area right over here, and that's below the resistance above us, somewhere around this area over here is going to trigger $200 billion of commodity trading advisors who are just following momentum. And they've been getting wrecked over here. They bought, by the way, last time. Their last buy was somewhere around over here. Then they had to flip short, and they've been flipping in this market in 2022, basically getting wrecked, but they got to do what they got to do. They'll be flipping over here. That's a lot of money. About a week later, we're looking at $5 billion a day coming from corporate buybacks. Because of earnings right now, we're currently in a blackout window. There are no corporate buybacks. In 1 week, looking for all of November, all of December, $5 billion a day. So that's why the seasonality, and you look at the seasonality chart we just looked at, that is why at this time of year, we start seeing buying entering the market. That buying could be get buying, and then we see, and just looked at all the retail who is positioned wrongly. And at that point, what are they going to do? This is like unemotional buying coming into the market. CTAs just repositioning, corporate buybacks on the trigger, but then you might see a whole bunch of emotional buying entering the market, and that squeeze could turn into a bounce, and that bounce can turn into a bear market rally. I don't think we're going any further than that. There was a chart I wanted to show you. It was from Jurgen, the head of Fidelity Global Macro. He was pointing out to why this current market condition is reminding him of the 1940s, and maybe we'll look at it tomorrow. Really good chart, and he's talking not so much about whether or not the markets are nearing a bottom. From his perspective, good possibility that they're looking to bottom, but he said it's not really a question of when we're entering the next bull market. That is probably some time away. And look, it's a view that's worthy of consideration and or looking at. People go from one let's say, I'm trying to say extreme to the other, right? People are either looking like extremely bearish or extremely bullish. Sometimes there's a happy medium in between. We'll continue watching it. Where is the sell set up? That's what I want to ask you or look at, and what is potentially here looking for any type of resumption on the sell side. And so I'm trying to see where the market over here, like this area of support, then turn to resistance. Is that the easiest and most logical place to look for some type of breakdown? It is over here. I'm going to go down over there. You see how it sloped down? I'm coming off of where the market went into the support area, and I'm going to go with this one over here, right? And above that, this is nothing more now than looking for a change of momentum, any type of retest into this area over here, right? Let me draw that with a lighter line. That would be completely normal and welcome. We'll be looking for that. But yeah, I think right now it's it's not that the buyers are even in control. The buyers have not even entered. We are looking at lots of short covering taking place. propelling the market. We also have a lot of, or I should say, a lack of call buyers, and they're now repositioning themselves. That's causing market makers to have to reposition themselves. And then we're seeing a good old-fashioned bounce entering the market. We'll see if it goes any further. Probably largely dependent on what goes on with the dollar as well. Let's take a look at the dollar, right? And so the dollar is just really, this is the 12-hour time frame. It's an interesting time frame, Jordan. The dollar is really in no man's land, and not really much of a read whatsoever on it over here, right? It's in the middle of the channel, right? I could point to the lower high, right? I could also point to a long series here of higher lows. Yeah, we're just in no man's land, and you could see like in this area right over here, we're just really sitting on that area of support. If we break down further, if we break down with any momentum, I would imagine we're coming back towards this area of support, back towards the 110, a whole number. And then we have right below it trend line support. So we're just in no man's land, hanging out right now. I don't know which way this goes from here. I think that you have the roadmap. And if you're following and now trading Bitcoin and you're not trading like myself, right, at this point, what you're looking for and waiting, right? We flipped long over here. We flipped long, very unemotional about it. We don't really care the outcome of any trade. It's a series of trades for us. If you're lining this up discretionary CTM 1.0 style, though, this is how you do it, and you're just waiting, and you have the roadmap. You got to stay on the right side, and it's really easy right now as we continue to coil to manage your risk, right? This is the roadmap. This is the way forward. Thanks for Ricardo for just the reminder, right? If you enjoy being here today, please go ahead and smash that like button. Do appreciate the love. If on your way out today, you are so kind to take a moment out on mobile and hit the like button. Grateful for the support for the channel, for myself, and for all the love. If Australian dollar keeps climbing, does it mean investors are buying gold and stock? Just look, let's take a look briefly at the Forex markets over here, the currency markets. And first, let me get a read on what's going on, because I know the dollar's flat. I want to see what the US dollar Japanese yen is. That's also flat, right? And then I'm looking at the euro. It's put on a nice gain yesterday. It's extending those gains out a little bit. And then the British pound, the dollar is able to make back some gains right now. So starting off with the British pound, I know you want to look at the Australian dollar, but I need to get a read first on the markets. And what we're seeing over here is also lower highs, right? And lower highs, and then higher lows and lower highs coming from both ends, right? Let me just go ahead and draw this a little bit like this. Looks like you can see that's pretty neat. You're not able to get any type of close above that line over there. And we are just coiling out. All markets are right and getting ready for a big move, right? Euro US dollar, similar situation over here where we're looking at a series of lower highs, right? Wicks again, not able to make the break above. And then over here, a series of higher lows. And we're looking at markets coiling up. What about the US dollar, Japanese yen? Oof. I mean, this one's tough. They're on the verge. We see a lot of verbal intervention coming from the Bank of Japan, alluding in the last 24 hours that they might be doing some type of stealth intervention. But it looks over here that is anyone familiar with that chart pattern over here? Let's look on the daily. It looks to me like, I want to say a shooting star, but it has been probably a strong decade since I've looked at candlestick patterns. I'm not sure, but that looks like a doji, a potential shooting star developing, potential reversal pattern. Interesting over here, what is developing across markets. And then the Australian dollar, US dollar, we're seeing in a massive downtrend over here. Yeah, that looks weak, right? So look, you want to go with the strength versus weakness. Australian dollar not showing any type of strength whatsoever. It is showing extreme weakness over here. Now, what would be like, yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's not looking so good right now. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that. What about the New Zealand dollar, US dollar? Yeah, both of those are bouncing hard today relative to everything else. But why everything else over the last couple of days? Was everything else? I'm talking about the British pound making that massive move off the bottom. Why we saw the euro able to bounce a little bit. You look at the Australian dollar, US dollar. This thing was making lows, and then also the New Zealand dollar, US dollar, similar situation. And then I have lots of love here for the peso, which throughout all of the dollar wrecking ball in 2022 has actually slightly outperformed the dollar. So if we see any dollar weakness, which I mean, it's neutral and it could go either way, I'm most interested to see what the reaction of the Mexican peso is, to be honest, after it has held up so strong in 2022. If there's any dollar weakness, do we see a break below, right? The 12-month low, 19.5, or for whatever reason, I know it doesn't make any sense. It wouldn't make any sense, but if we started seeing dollar weakness, do we also then see peso weakness? It's something, an observation I'm watching for. I'm not really sure what will happen. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here for this session. I got some work to do. I'm going to get into it. I wish you all have a really beautiful day. Really enjoyed the live stream. If you enjoyed the live stream, go ahead and share a comment with me. I make sure to read them, and they really, really, really are valued. Have a beautiful day, everyone. God bless you. I'll talk to you soon. I'm going out with a little bit of honeymoon, just in case we want to come back and say anything. Pleasure. Pleasure, pleasure. Yeah, David. All right, everyone. God bless you. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you soon.